You marry them in their low 20s, then something happens around that mid-30s mark. It's amazing how we all have the same thing happen, right? Like, I married my ex-wife when she was 24, and then right when she turned 30, all this shit went down.
So he's basically telling us about his wife that he married when she was about 20 years old. Now that she's 30, she's like, there's more to life than being a wife or being a mom. And this man over here is giving advice to people that probably might be in the same shoes as him, that married their wife when they were early 20s, and telling them that when they start making these statements, they should just leave them alone. Let me roll this clip for you all to watch to the end, then we'll come back and talk about it.
You marry them in their low 20s, then something happens around that mid-30s mark. It's amazing how we all have the same thing happen, right? Like, I married my ex-wife when she was 24, and then right when she turned 30, all this went down. All of a sudden, she was saying, there's got to be more to life than being a wife and a mother. And I'm here to tell you right now, folks, guys, if she starts talking like this, if she starts saying stuff like that, leave or kick her out or whatever you got to do. Just end the relationship and move on. Because this is all code for, I missed being single through my 20s and I never really got to have a hoe phase. So maybe I should go have a hoe phase. Who cares if I destroy a family or multiple families because I end up getting with multiple married men? Who cares if my kids never get to see me again or rarely get to see me at all? Who cares if the father doesn't get to see his kids and while I'm just basically leaving the kids with grandma, grandpa, or my sister or whoever? Who cares, because I'm happy, right? Short term, I get to be happy. I get to wake up in another guy's bed every other day with a different man. And it's gonna be fun. I deserve this. I did all the things that I was supposed to do when I was young. I deserve to have some me time. Amazing.
Hey gorgeous people, hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Maria David, and I'm back again with another interesting video. This man's page here, most of his videos is always attacking women. I don't know what his wife must have done for him so much, or his ex-wife must have done for him so much for him to, anytime a woman is talking or if you want to stitch a video about women, it just be like it's just so annoying to women. So this statement from him, I'm not surprised, saying that when a woman is in their 20s, you marry a woman in their 20s, and when she's in her 30s and say, oh, there's more to life than being a wife and mom, all you need to do is just let them go. What about communication? What about trying to, probably she has missed herself because in your 20s, you might not even know who you are as a person. What about you being with her as her husband, not just roommates or whatever you are to her? Anyways, let me know your thoughts about this video down in the comment section. I have interesting stitches to share with you, just few stitches, okay? So let's watch the stitches together and I'll be back at the end of the videos.
You marry them in their low 20s, then something happens around that mid-30s mark. It's amazing how we all have the same thing happen. The hoe phase. So,
if I may, I can explain what's going on here. First, shout out to my sister for regifting me this fleece sweatshirt. I woke up this morning and it was 50 degrees in my kitchen, and this was very helpful, and I'm going to be very snuggly and cozy in this when I'm working today. So thank you, big sister. But anyway, this dude. It's funny how the takeaway for this man is that, oh, well, it's funny that we all have the same story. Right around 30, when we married someone who was young and in her 20s, she starts to look around and say, hey, there's got to be more to life than being a wife and mother. And his takeaway from that is all these women are bitches who just want to go out and slut it up and relive their 20s or live the life in their 20s that they never had. When we leave men, they always assume we're leaving them for another guy or guys. When what's really happening is that you married a person who didn't know who they were yet. You got married too young. You married someone when she was 24. And then when she's 30, she looks around and she says, This situation, this marriage isn't fair. I'm not happy. I got into this too young. This partner is not meeting my needs anymore, if he ever did, and I want something better for my life. But women are never allowed to ask for anything better for our lives because we are conditioned to sacrifice for everybody else. So ending a relationship, ending a marriage, leaving a job, whatever, for our own personal happiness is unacceptable because we're supposed to consider everybody else's happiness at the expense of ours. We're supposed to consider everybody else's happiness in some situations at the expense of our safety. And when his wife comes to him and says, I'm not happy, his advice is, oh, you should just dump her right away. Never, hey, if your wife's feeling like this, you need to have a serious talk because that means she's really not happy and you need to change something in your relationship or you need to end it. It's perfectly fine to end a relationship, but the way he's talking in this video makes it seem like his wife's needs and wants and happiness is not important at all. And if you watch just this one video from this creator, it doesn't seem so bad, but I went back and took a scroll through some of his other content. And let me tell you, this guy hates women. Like, I try not to judge people until I've seen kind of more of their standard content because everybody has a bad day. Everybody makes a dumb video. Everybody makes a point that's, not really good. I've certainly made some incoherent videos on this app. But yeah, this dude does not like women. I don't know what it's going to take for men like this to understand they're not competing with other men. They're not competing with our hoe phase that we want to relive. They're not competing with our career. They're not competing with our kids. They're competing with our peace. They're competing with our self-respect and our internal and external well-being. And so many of these men are losing.
You marry them in their low 20s, then something happens around that mid-30s mark. It's amazing.
You marry them in their 20s. They think they're some sort of god because they've been told that their whole lives, that they're the most important thing in the world and we're supposed to serve them. So then by the time that you want to have a family, you want to have children, and we only have a biological limit on that, so we ought to get moving with it. So we go ahead and have those kids, and then we're financially ruined and we have no freedoms anymore because of the capitalistic society that men built, the systems that men built. And so then when we're in our 30s, we realize you haven't changed a bit. You're still 25 years old. You still act like you're 25 years old and we're just your mummies now. You still need a list. You still need to be told what to do. It's ridiculous. And then we realize I'm not going to spend the next decade because I watched my mom do that. And she's miserable. Or she died miserable. Or she is still living in the dark ages and doesn't really even see it. Because she was born into such privilege. But I can promise you, she didn't have any privilege. She felt it. She felt being married to your dad. And that old-fashioned idea. Okay? We want to have autonomy in our lives. Our lives are our lives. You go live yours. You go find one. There's billions of people on the planet. Go find yourself a woman that wants the same thing you do and quit bashing on the ones that don't. It just makes you afraid that there's so many of us that don't. That's just what you're afraid of. You're afraid that you're becoming obsolete after having the position of power for, all of human existence. Have a great day.
If she starts talking like this, if she starts saying stuff like that, get the
bye, bitch. I think the thing that is so comical about this is that, it's hard for me because I love my husband, so I don't like just generalizing the shit talking of men. But in general, this is like a huge thing. I mean, see all the comments on that video. And the thing is, for all those years, she was having babies, sitting at home, having to stress probably about keeping the house clean, doing everyone's laundry, blah, 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 watching her husband go hunt, play golf, fish, basketball, football, softball, work in the garage, find something else to do, always got to mow the yard now, can't ever be inside with the family. You know what I mean? Like, get real. And then one day she wakes up and she's like, you know, I want a hobby. I want to go fishing. I want to learn something new, like painting or knitting or travel. I want to try something new, but this person I've been with for so many years is trying to keep me down. She supported you to be yourself. She supported your career all that time after being a stay-at-home mom or wife or whatever. And then she just wants her own identity. And you're just like, get. So thank goodness for her that you kicked her to the curb, because now she's free from your toxic ass.
You marry them in their low 20s, then something happens around that mid-30s mark. It's amazing.
You're not going to like this, but it's because they were too young. So just get married when they're 30. Get married when they know who they are, because that's going to keep happening. And you think you're leaving them to be with other men and to be like sleeping around. They probably just want to do literally anything else. Men are not very creative, I've noticed. If you want to leave a guy, he thinks you just want to sleep around and meet other guys. We're not that interested. We're not that interested in you, like as a concept. If we leave one, you don't just want another one. That's not what's happening. Just marry women who are ready to get married, who are in their 30s, and you'll avoid this problem.
Kindly put your thoughts, your comments, your opinion, your suggestion about this video down in the comment section. See, for me, yeah, it's okay when I see someone that married early, probably due to peer pressure, perhaps from family, or you just feel like you're in love and you got married at your early 20s. Almost everybody make that mistake, getting married early 20s. Yeah, not everyone, but almost most people like realize that was a big mistake for them to get married in their early 20s. And probably you gave in your all in the marriage, and years goes by, you find out that you are the one actually losing. And that's what make a woman make that statement of there is more to life than being a wife or a mother and a mother. There should be more to life, because now she's saying that I am just stuck in this old place being just a wife and being a mom. And you all know what being a wife means. It's like glorified housemaid. Being a wife is like a glorified housemaid in some house, especially with this kind of man. I'm sure she's doing it all in that house. So now, being a mom as well is another job entirely that you need help for. Imagine she doesn't have help. Imagine she has 1 or 2 or 3 kids. That's insane. So she doing her 20s, using her 20s. You know, people will tell you, get married early so you can have your kids before your 30s. When you're 30s, you start enjoying your life. All are scam. All are BS, because that 30s that you think you want to enjoy your life, your kids are not even grown yet. Maybe you start enjoying your life in your 50s, and that might be too late sometimes because of health issues. So him now saying that when a woman, advising men that when you marry someone that is in her 20s, and she starts saying that, okay, I'm tired of being a mom, I'm tired of being a wife, there's more to life, blah, 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 blah. And the next thing he's saying is tell her to get out. Like, end the marriage. Number one, you're doing her a favor if you don't know. And number two, it shows how men think. Because they basically, as I always say, if they're not going to get anything from you again, they will stop being with you. If they're not benefiting anything from you, men, they are users. If they're not benefiting anything from you anymore, you are practically useless. So just get out. Let someone else that is young, that is naive, come and take your place. Because they've used you and you are saying you don't want to be used anymore. They'll just let you go. So, but is that the right way to do? I feel like the best thing is when a woman has gotten to that stage, for a woman to make that kind of statement and be like, oh, blah blah blah, there's more to life. Like I feel like she's tired, she's exhausted with the whole thing that is happening, living with a man and all of that. She's exhausted, and I feel like the last thing that should come out from a man is to tell her to get out. Firstly is to find how to make, as in, get solution. Being married doesn't mean that someone should lose their self, doesn't mean that you should not have your own life. So probably she has lost herself in the process and she doesn't even know who she is. And in your 20s, you don't even know who you are. So most of the time, people don't even know what they want. They just feel like, oh, this is the right thing we should do. Oh, let's go to school. From school, after college and all of that, we should get married. Oh, once you're married, you should start having kids. Oh, 1 kid is not enough. 2. Oh, let's make it 3. Okay, let's just run it up to 4. That is the normal thing that society has put into we women, like always please these men. So when you are now having some knowledge and you are now getting to some stage in your life that you're like, this thing doesn't benefit me, this guy is the only one enjoying this thing, I feel like I'm losing myself. Then you see these men angry. They don't want, like, I don't get it. You just see them angry and making unnecessary points. Especially from this man, if you look at his page, it's full of BS about women. I like, So I'm not shocked with his response, and I know that he's not the only one out there. There are plenty of him out there. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about this video down in the comment section. I'd like to hear your opinion as well. And thank you all so much for sticking around to this point. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. And kindly turn on the post notification bell so you can get notified when I upload interesting video like this one. I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.